Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. So coming back again with this Just For Him collection, which is the current members free gift over at Hunkydory Crafts. Now I do just first have to say apologies. Last video I did say that the delivery charge was £2.95. It's actually £3.95, so apologies, that was my muddled head, but it is £3.95. And this kit you can get just paying the postage. I have got the bigger package, the bundle if you like, with the inserts, the foiled card and the little pocket pad, but you can just get the kit itself with just paying that postage. Just have to sign in as a member over at Hunkydory Crafts. But this one anyway is called The Great Outdoors. So we've got some sort of travel theme on most of these. So you've got your travel theme there. We've got our backpacker here. We've got our hiking boots and camera here with a little footprint, super cute. And then we've got our shed here, which is sort of more retirement. The sentiments, we've got adventure awaits, have a wonderful day, many happy returns, time to relax. And then just to add on, we've got this little tag here with that airplane on again. And then we've got a sentiment topper here that says there are no shortcuts to anywhere worth going. And then the foiled cardstock has that leafery along the top there with that shed. The printed cardstock has that printed image of the sort of world and the plane. The inserts, we've got one with the shed, one with the plane. And I did bring in a little bit more of that foiled cardstock. I am going to use a little bit on the first card. So the cardstock I'm going to be using today, I'm going to be using on both of these cards today, this cardstock. But you're going to see how very little I use of it because I am bringing in that foiled cardstock as well. But let's just start, sorry, a little bit of glue there. Let's just start by bringing the trimmer and a 6x6 card blank. Put it ready and then I bunged a load of things on top of it. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's 6x6, yes it is. So I'm going to start by cutting into this. So we're going to cut from, I've got it to the 1 inch mark on this side. And then I'm going to cut from 1 to 7. So it's going to give us that 1 inch sort of panel there. And then again on this side, 1 inch, and then we're going from 1 to 7. And then I'm just going to put some score lines in. So I'm doing that inverted sort of stepper again. I think it's going to work out quite nice with this topper. So I'm just popping that up to the 1 inch and just putting a score line across that middle. And then I'm going to do that 2 inch. And then if I pop that arm out, I can go with the 7. That's all across the middle. Now I will go over these with the scoreboard, but it just helps to have an idea of where they are going, especially with them being in the middle. Okay, so again, just going to go over that. So 1, 2, 6, 7, sorry, and then at the 6 inch mark, what I'm going to do is just put those in on the outside up to the score line. So inside we've got 1, 2 and 7, and on the outside we've got that 6 inch score. And then I'm just going to start easing these in, mountain and valley folds, and very quickly we're going to end up with our card that looks like that. Just looking for my little burnisher. And I can see I have got a little bit of mark on my card, but it's going to be hidden under the layer, so I'm not going to worry about that at all. I'm just going over all of these layers, all of these creases, just giving them a really good burnish down, and that just gives that card it makes it easier to open and pop into place. There we go. Okay, so let's bring in a 6x6 mirror mat. And I'm going to start by taking 2 notches off of one side, so that's 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to turn this around and take 2 notches off of 1 inch, which is going to be my longest point there. And then if I turn this around, actually what I can do is take this to 2 notches under the 5. And then we want 2 notches under the 1, which is going to be on here. 2 notches under the 1. And then 2 notches under the 4, which is going to be this piece in the middle. Now if you wanted to, what you could do with these long sides here, you could go all the way down to 2 notches under the 6. You would have to use you know, some of the bits from your bit box or another 6x6 mirror mat, and then having that one going over the top. But I'm going to just keep it to the normal little layers that I do. So for the bottom piece, I want a lot of fluff around here today, not sure why. I want a piece of this, and obviously I want to make sure the text is the right way. So I'm just going to take 3/4 of an inch for the bottom there. Like I say, taking hardly anything at all. And then that needs to be 5 3/4. And that's going to go, if we turn that away, across. That's going to go all the way along the bottom. I'll put that in there for now. And then I'm going to take this cardstock, the printed, and I'm going to start by cutting it to, I'm actually going to take it to 5 inches. Yeah, I'm going to take it to 5 inches. Okay, so I need 2 pieces that are going to be 3/4 of an inch for these sides. And I'm going to take that to 4 3/4. And again 4 3/4. And then I'm going to bring in some of the printed papers. I did forget to show you these at the beginning, but I'm just going to, this comes in the insert and paper pack. You can use some of the cardstock if you prefer, but I'm just going to take a piece that's going to be 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. And that's going to be the piece that goes inside there. So this piece I'm saving for my next card, although I will cut that a little bit more. But let's go ahead and get this one sorted. So I am going to be using the dotty tape pen because of the papers. I'm going to be using my Collal all-purpose glue, and I'm going to be using my Collal tacky glue. Let's start with these smaller pieces first of all. So I do like to use the dotty tape pen on these. Just helps them to stick down a little faster sometimes. For some reason, I don't know why, with these smaller pieces they sometimes tend to jump a little bit up. So that dotty tape pen, and you can see even though I've gone a little bit wrong there, we can gently unstick that. Maneuver that into place. And then pop that down. I'm going to do the same there. And the benefit of using the dots is that the tacky glue is fantastic for the bigger pieces, and I'm not going to say it's not. but those dots do stick that straight away, but it's not permanent, so you've still got that ability to move it, but you know it's on and done. So I'm going to do the same with these, just use that, and I'm just putting a few on there. You don't even need a lot of dots. And this has been my sort of preferred method of sticking these down lately. Now this one, usually with a stepper, I would say make sure you've got at least one of your sides right. However, with this one you do see all of them, so it is worth just taking that extra second just to make sure your layers look good. Since you've got that opportunity to move things around, there's no reason why you shouldn't take that bit of time to make sure you're happy with them. And then these are going to go onto our sides. And I don't think there's any right or wrong way with this print, it's just a sort of distressed little panel. And I did get a comment from somebody, I can't remember the name now, I'm so sorry if this was you, saying about how this kit wasn't really for them, but they got it anyway in their basket because it was free, they were buying other things, so it made sense. And that's absolutely true, but that, and I think it is, they've had quite a few men or kits that are okay for men this year. I think the boys have done really well out of Hunkydory this year, but it's always worth, if you're buying something else, just popping it in your basket, because you can always give it to a friend who's just getting into crafting. It's a perfect thing for them to start with, or if you've got like grandchildren or children that like to have a little play. Again, if you're not paying for it and you don't think that you're going to use it, just pass it on to someone who will, basically. And it's perfect for somebody wanting to cut their teeth on a little crafting project. And because the quality is still there, they're going to be happy with what they create, because it all comes out so well. That's how we are looking at the moment, so looking quite smart. See, that's trying to lift up, but once we get things on, it's going to be fine. Okay, so I was going to go with the retirement one, so let's just grab that out, or the sort of shed one, time to relax, that sort of sentiment. So I'm just going to pop this out, and this is going to be going into my little centre there. This, you can see that it's trying to lift. Let me just pop my tweezers on it while I am doing this, and that tacky glue will do its job. So we've got that one, and then I'm going to go with because it's got time to relax, it's got the little shed tools on, the little shears and the little trowel. So we're going to use that. Kind of feeling that's going to go inside. That's probably going to go on there. Maybe some gems, and that will be the job done. Okay, so I've actually got a different configuration of frames here. So we've got a gold frame which is on the outside. So I'm not going to use that plain one. Usually the plain one's in the middle. But they've put a gold one on the outside, and then we've got this printed frame on the inside. So this is going to be a little bit smaller, so it's going to fit perfectly in there. It doesn't matter if it goes over the top, because we've still got that inch to play with for that to go into an envelope. Let me grab my scissors and just take away those pips. And sorry, just going a little quiet while I'm just picking up these internal ones. There's quite a lot of internal ones on this one. Okay, I think that's going to do. So let's see, how are you doing now? Are you behaving? Yeah, I think you are. We can always put those back on if we need to. Just make sure that makes contact, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to go, I am going to come a little over the top. I think what I'm going to do is go flat with the frame, and then we'll have some 2mm on that top piece just to bring that away. And then I'll do 2mm on that piece as well, on that sentiment. So let's just grab a little bit of our tacky glue on this one. Could use the all-purpose, either is going to work. And all I'm going to do is just line that up in the middle. I'm using this front step as a guide. I'm hoping that's going to keep it quite straight. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then this one we're going to take some 2mm foam pads. Just pop some on. We don't want to go quite close to the top there. I will just use the eraser to get rid of that. Just remembered that that's going to peep over the top, and it probably would have been alright, to be honest, because it's just a tiny bit. But just take it off anyway. And that glue eraser just takes all of the stick as well. If you do find it struggling, you can always use a little bit of your all-purpose glue. Pop that on because it will release the stick on it, and it will clean up the mess as well. But if you've done it fresh, if it's just been done, you should be alright. You should be able to just quickly take that off with that glue eraser. Let's pop that in. Checking there's nothing showing on the other side, and that is looking perfect. So let's pop some 2mm on here, nice amount. If you've got the strips, they would be perfect there. Again, I'm going to use this purple glue stick. I'm going to turn it around the right way. Pop that on in the centre, and then I'm going to come in with some gems. We could go with gold, or we could go with a colour. Bring in some of those greens, and I think I might go with some greens just for a change. And these are some of these cheap gems that I got from Temu. I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do the same on the other side with this darker green one, because we have got those darker tones in this. So aiming to be approximately in the same sort of area. need to do is just move that one over a little bit. It's just not quite there. There we go, so that matches up nicely. And then I'm going to go with 2 medium ones there. And then I just want to hide a nice little one. Actually, I might go with just this little light green one on that snail. Just so you know how I am weird about odd numbers. Okay, and that is going to be card number 1. So our little inverted stepper. And I'm just going to get set up. Sorry, it's just a little bit there that was annoying me. I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, I'm going to do an over the edge card. So I had a bit of Ink Me cardstock in my bit box. I've just cut it to 10 by 5. That's going to be the starting point of our card. And then I'm going to I am going to use a Miri mat. And I'm just going to take a little bit off that side. Sorry, I'm just trimming this to try and get a little bit of the curl out of it. So I'm going to take it. It needs to be 2 notches under 5. Actually, I'm just going to bin those pieces. I'm not even going to pop them into my bit box. So 2 notches under 5 all the way around, and that's going to fit quite nicely onto there. And then I'm going to take this piece that we had earlier on. I'm going to take it to 4 3/4. So we are going to lose the bottom of it. I'm not going to try and recreate that pattern, but that's still a decent size. That could be a mat or a layer, or you know, some kind of addition. Maybe even a border on a little 5 by 5 stepper. You know, you've got those topper. If you've got the bundle, you will have the pocket pads. They would probably fit nicely into a little 5 by 5 stepper. But that's going to be the decorative part of my cardstock started. So let's pop this on. Just try and make it a bit of a shape. Oops. Oh, I might have ruined that. No, it might be alright. So the all-purpose glue is not great with Miri surfaces. Sometimes it can take the shine off a little bit. I'm actually going to put it that way around. It may even be hidden under my layers, but it's just the tiniest little bit. I can see it, but I don't think anybody else would be able to. And then again, try not to go too gung-ho. And that's why I used the 2 glues, or why I started using 2 glues, because I love this glue. But I didn't like ruining my Miri card. I am quite a messy crafter. I don't know if that comes across. I talk about it enough, but I am quite a messy crafter, and that's why I started using the 2 glues, so I didn't have to go too close to the edge with the all-purpose, and that was where it all stemmed from. Okay, so this at the moment is a 5 by 5, but I am going to turn it. We'll need to go into a 5 by 7 envelope. So I have my little sort of travel theme here, topper, and I think what I want to do is have this. There are no shortcuts to anywhere worth going on here as well. Maybe across like so. Don't think we're going to get the adventure awaits in, but if I've got a space I will. So let's go ahead, and this one has got the tiniest little gold frame between it. I mean, I think that's about two notches, maybe even less than that. but it's so delicate it's just falling apart when I'm getting it out, so I wouldn't be able to reuse it, but that's fine. So let's just pop, and you can see how fine it is, and that is just coming away. I might just trim that with my scissors. Let's grab them. Just take that fluff away. Don't think there's as many pips on this one as the other one, but I will just tidy up those outside edges. Just one on that one. And these pips are just where it's been held in place, so it's just little bits of paper, just need to come off. Okay, so I'm going to pop this on to here so I can just get my measurements sort of right. This is going to go into there. And then we're going to have this one coming over at the top. A couple of gems here, maybe. That's going to be the card. Okay, let's pop some 2mm on here. Now I have already just cut some down. And just pop that back, just to get a rough idea of where we can go to. Oops, sticking to me. There we go. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to do one thing. I know I've taken the backs off there, which might be a bit crazy, but we just pop this sentiment out and just see whether I do want to use that bigger one on there, whether I want to just go with something maybe a little simpler. Oops. So that would be there. I'm actually feeling like that would probably be a bit more sense to go on the simpler and then have that a little higher. So I'm still going to do the same sort of theme is where I'm at, but actually I just want to pop one more on there. I'm just gonna, I think it's just gonna, it just kind of hit me that it feels a bit cluttered. I do tend to make more simpler cards with less on. For two reasons. One, I like that. That's my kind of preference. And two, I like to get the most out of the kit. So by getting 4 cards out of it rather than just 2, it does make my heart a little bit happy, I have to be honest. So I've put that purple glue stick on there just to give me that ability to wiggle that into place. It was a little bit on the wonk. That does feel better now. We're about centre. So that is good. Now I think do I want that up? I think I'm going to go flat on this, and this time just to prove that you can use either of the glues, I'm going to use my all-purpose. Just going to pop that in. Now the only downside about using that all-purpose is I will just have to keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't move. There we go. And while that's doing we'll pop. So these are going to be quite a quick video today, so apologies if you do like the longer video, but my cough does seem to have, for the most part, eased off. Tends to be worse in the evenings at the minute, like yesterday. I haven't coughed so bad this morning yet. In the night I did. Let's put that underneath that, like so. And then let's bring in some nice little gold gems. And I think what I want is, I know I said about odd, I'm just going to go with 2. Don't think there's anywhere I want to put anywhere. I'm just going to go with 2. So actually that one is slightly different size. So why is that a different size? There we go. It's obviously gone on a little journey, moved into the wrong thing. There's a little bit of glue. There's my little pickup tool. It's a little wax tip pickup tool that I got from Temu. Has a little ball tool on the end, which is perfect for moving things as well. All that needs now is going to be that insert inside. Like I say, that will go in a 5x7, but that is card number 2, super quick. So let me just bring back in card number 1. We've got cardstock left over. We've got that half piece there with that picture on, so really I could just bring that in, pop that on, and that's pretty much a card made. But keep those together. We've got the whole piece of foiled, not touched that today, by using the paper. Like I said last time, it does extend it. Those inserts, they will go in there. I will get that sorted. I'm not going to do it on the video because it's just simple simple sort of cutting. For this one, oops, just move that gem. For this one, I would cut a piece that's 2 notches under 5 by 2 notches under 6, and that will go in there. For this one, it's nice and easy, just 2 notches under 5 square. I usually just put a little bit of glue along the top piece so that it kind of has that feel of a luxury sort of insert like you used to get in the oldie card shops. Not so very many of them about anymore. Card shops, that is. Oh, I didn't show you the toppers I've got left, did I? Let's bring that back in. So obviously I've got almost all of that foil card. I just took that little strip, but we've still got the sentiment one. We've got those hiking boots and the backpack. We've got our little plane, and we've got our mini happy returns and have a wonderful day. So plenty more cards to be made from that one. But that's it for today. Short and sweet, 2 simple cards. Nice and easy. I'll be back again next time with another set from this kit. We'll work our way through it. There should be a sneak peek going up tomorrow of a super fun kit that's coming up on Thursday on Hobby Maker, which I do think you're going to love. It was a lot of fun to work on for sure. I really did enjoy that one, so you'll see that go up tomorrow, and then you can look out for that on Hobby Maker and Hunkydory as well. But until next time, thank you so much for watching and happy crafting. Bye.